We all reach a point in our lives where the cost of continuing to work outweighs the benefits of retirement. However, determining when that time has arrived can be challenging. In today's video, I'll share with you 5 compelling reasons why it might be the right moment for you to start thinking about your retirement journey. Hey everyone, I'm Danny Gudorf, the founder of Gudorf Financial Group, and I'm here to guide you on how to experience a limitless retirement. There are clear reasons why you might need to keep working. Many are financial, such as you need your current income to keep saving. Maybe it's your health insurance benefits or your 401k contributions. However, at a certain point, the marginal benefit of those extra dollars begins to diminish, and it can actually start to cost you more to keep working. This is when one of these 5 factors begins to play a significant role in your life. The first reason it might be time for you to retire is when you start to realize that time is the only thing we cannot produce more of. While there's always an opportunity to earn more money or work longer, even if it's challenging, time is something we can never recover. In the early stages of your career, money matters more than time because you have an abundance of time but limited financial resources. Therefore, the focus is on growing your wealth, and you're willing to sacrifice time to achieve that goal. However, once you've accumulated enough money, time becomes a far more valuable resource. You begin to understand that time is non-renewable. I've worked with many clients who retired later than they wanted to. They did so because they never got around to doing it, but they felt like they had plenty of time once they retired. Sadly, within a couple years, sometimes even months, they fell ill. Some even passed away. In their final days, they weren't thinking about having more money, their portfolio, or their last bonus. They were thinking about time and what they would give to have more of it. Although this may seem somber, it's essential to consider when it comes to retirement. Yes, you need to be financially prepared, but once you're there, the longer you put off retirement, the less time you'll have to enjoy it. It's critical to strike a balance. This doesn't mean that everyone can simply retire and have all the time in the world if they don't have the financial means to do so. If you don't have the financial resources, you won't be able to do much with the time you have. However, once you're ready to retire, understand how much more valuable that time is. The time to do what you want is something you'll never get back. Money will always be there, even if times are difficult or you have to go back to work or if you experience market losses. Time, on the other hand, is a different story. Remember that time is a non-renewable currency, and being aware of this can drive us to ensure that we're retiring when it's appropriate, rather than continue to work indefinitely. The second reason it might be time to retire is that you may need to improve your health. Imagine the average person. They are a year from retirement. They've spent 40 years grinding, doing overtime, taking on those extra projects, maybe paying off a mortgage and raising a family with children. The typical picture of that person is someone who's overstressed, overworked, burnt out, and barely getting by sometimes. By retirement, most people are burnt out and stressed. The stress can cause health problems. This includes depression, anxiety, stroke, maybe heart issues, but they're all related to this stress. It's important to realize that during our later working years, we're in our peak earning years, but we might be also at our peak stress levels. If you're in a demanding job, recognize that it's demanding more than just your time. It's also demanding your health, and it's a critical factor. If your health deteriorates beyond a certain point, it can become very challenging, if not possible, to ever fully recover. The last thing anyone wants is to retire and just sit around because their health isn't good enough for them to be able to go do what they want and enjoy life. It might be time for you to retire if you realize that work isn't just taking your time, but it's also starting to take a toll on your health. Retirement can be an opportunity to regain your health. You've had time to focus on reducing stress. You can exercise, eat right, and care for yourself. Then you can truly enjoy the next chapter of your life and do all the activities that you want to do. The third reason why it might be time for you to retire is to spend more time with family and friends. The quality of our relationships largely determine the quality of our lives. Consider the average working person. Let's assume you work 40 to 50 hours a week with some extra hours for commuting, errands, cleaning, and other life tasks. However, how much of that time is left over for friends and family? How much quality time remains for those closest to you? Before you start thinking about that I'm anti-work or that I don't want you to continue to work, let's clarify that I'm not. I love my work, and I know many people find their work fulfilling, but it's about finding the right balance. You have to balance doing something you love and something productive, but it can't just hold you back from what matters most. That might be your health, your friends, your family, or other key factors in retirement. Returning to the importance of friends and family. Too often, people say, I just don't have time to keep in touch with that friend. Or I don't have time to call a sibling or a parent or one of our children. They say, this is because work and life are so demanding. If you're ready to retire and don't need to work, ask yourself, what is it costing you in terms of your relationships with friends and family? Also consider the time and energy you can spend on them. If work is starting to detract from those relationships, it might be time for you to retire. The fourth reason that I see that it might be time for you to retire is the realization that your best years are limited. Many people, perhaps at the age 62, say, hey, I might live until I'm 92 years old. I have 30 years left. While that may seem like a lot of years, it's crucial to understand that not all of those years are created equal. I like to tell clients, you're probably the healthiest you'll ever be today. You're going to have significantly more energy, better health, and a greater ability to do what you want from, say, age 62 to 72 than you will from 82 to 92. It's not really 30 years that you have. You might have 30 years of a retirement, but how long of that span are you going to be healthy and be able to do all the things you want to do? How long will you keep your health, energy, and the ability to do those things you enjoy? These things could be travel, hobbies, or other pursuits that you enjoy. It's probably not going to last the next 30 years. I see many people at 62 who might be in a great position to retire from a financial standpoint, but they say, hey, I'm just going to keep working. I want to hit 70. Another common reason I hear is I want to maximize my Social Security benefits. I want to save a few more bucks away before I retire, and I'll still have a good amount of time after that. And you might, but realize that those ages from 62 to 65 could be the best years. When considering retirement, we must understand that we might have another 20, 30 years. It's essential to recognize that those years differ. Even if you work for just 2 or 3 more years, those might be the best 2 or 3 years of your life. How would you have spent them doing other things? Obviously, everyone's situation is different. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we need to balance this. It's not just to say that everyone should retire immediately. Most people aren't in a financial position to do so. However, once you're there, ask yourself, what is it costing you? Are you paying with the best years of your life? Should you retire and do what you truly want? That is a question you should be asking. And the fifth reason it might make sense to retire now is that you're financially ready. I've been saying this in the video, but as I often see, it's hard for someone to spend 30, 35, or 40 plus years in the workforce and then just suddenly say, you know what? It's time for me to retire. That work, the thing that we're doing 40 to 50 hours a week, week after week, year after year, becomes part of our identity. We may not love it. It adds stress and takes time from family and friends and health. But it can be scary to consider not doing the thing we've been doing for years and decades. It's very easy to become a byproduct of the habits we've developed over the course of our lifetime. However, if we start working just for the sake of working, we must realize that there's a huge cost associated with that. If you're well off and you have enough in your portfolio, your Social Security, pension, or other income to keep your lifestyle. If you keep working after that, not because you love work, but because it's what you're used to and you don't know what you would do without it, that becomes a real issue. Make sure you never fall into the trap of just working for work's sake. There should be a purpose to work, and that purpose could be work itself. You may love your work and may be fulfilling and a productive or creative outlet for you. If so, that's great. You should keep doing it for as long as you can, but only if you can still focus on things like friends, family, health, and the other activities that excite you. But make sure that work is fitting in to your vision for your ideal life. Don't let work become life at the expense of everything else. These are the 5 reasons it might make sense for you to retire right now. If any of these resonate with you, or if you're thinking, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but you're wondering about the last point and how to tell if you're ready, I've made a video on that. If you're curious about how to tell if you're ready for retirement, watch this video on how to find out when you can retire. Just 3 simple steps. Once again, I'm Danny Gudorf, the founder of Gudorf Financial Group. If you're interested in seeing how we help our clients at Gudorf Financial Group experience a limitless retirement, please visit us at gudorffinancial.com/get started.